Welcome to Awesome Life 101. We're here to empower you to envision and achieve your own unique awesome life through personal growth and development. We couldn't do anything else other than helping you envision your life and make your life one is the best life you can ever live in this lifetime, at least, right? So for this past 3 weeks, we've been talking about the Dream.Plan.Do ebook, which is an ebook that we wrote to actually help each one of you to achieve your goals and take the steps to move forward. In the first week, we're talking about the dream. So, we're going to have the dream first, all right? We're talking about the dream, what's the possibilities to make that dream into the plan, all right? So we got last week, we're talking about the plans, how to take your dreams and put it in the paper, make some plans to it, all right?
And now today,
we're going to talking about
taking action.
taking the actions, all right? Because we have to take action. Like I said last week, you have a dream, making a plan, and don't take any action. You just have the dream.
And there's a lot of people out there who are really good at taking action without seeing the big picture and making the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are other people more like me who are real good at seeing the dream and making the plan. But how do you get yourself to do the things?
I know, right?
Right?
It's so hard.
And so we're going to share some of the strategies with you today.
Yeah.
The first one is start small. So some people, like I know for me, I get the big picture and I want to do it all right now.
At one time,
and I get frustrated when I can't do it all. So starting small, setting small pieces of the goal. I know last week you guys talked about making the plan
Mm-hmm.
into bite-sized chunks.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking on one little piece, just going to the gym once a week and then twice a week, building up that habit.
Yeah, that's what actually when I started going to the gym 2 years ago. That's how I started. I was going like 2 days a week, and then I started going 3 days a week, and now I'm going like 5 days a week. It's awesome. It's very awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And along the same lines, maybe you have a big project. I know, like cleaning out the garage can be a big project, or cleaning up the house can be a big project that, is too big to tackle.
Yeah.
And so you just break it down into little pieces, right?
Yeah.
This week I'm going to completely clean out the kitchen, and next week I'm going to completely clean out the bathroom. Or today I'm going to go through the garage and find a box of things to donate, right? Just breaking a big project into little chunks.
Yeah.
Same thing with starting a business, right? You cannot start a business all in one day or in 1 month, but you break it down into achievable steps.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Today I'm going to write a draft of my business plan.
Yeah.
Right? And then celebrate. I know it's not next on our list, but as you accomplish those little pieces, if you're always saying to yourself like, oh, but it wasn't a big deal, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
That's negative self-talk, and it brings your energy down. You're more tired. You achieve less. But if you do a small step and you celebrate it like it's a big step in the right direction, it brings your energy up. You have more, you accomplish more.
You know what I noticed? I noticed that you are celebrating your success more than actually say, oh, I didn't do enough today. Because you used to do so much stuff in one day. And then at the end of the day, because you missed do one stuff, that will bug you the whole night. Like, oh, I didn't do my work.
That's true. I've been working on that a lot.
And it's so important. It's so important that we get this realization that, no matter how much we'll have stuff in plan to do, if we miss that, is something we don't have to, punishing ourselves. Just carry it for the next day, or carry it for the next hour, right? Because it's much better you treat yourself that way, and you'll be more pleasantly doing that work than just beating yourself up because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. That wasn't your plan. Right?
Yeah.
It's so important to do that.
You know, and that's along the lines with the next step, which is focusing on progress and not perfection.
You
You know, nothing's ever going to be perfect. So if
yeah,
you're striving for perfect, you're going to be disappointed. Good morning, everybody.
yeah, good morning.
But if you're focused on progress, you can do that every day, and you can celebrate that every day.
Yeah. I'm very guilty of it. You know, everything has to be perfect. I don't know why. For some reason, all my stuff has to be perfect. And that's why for a long time, I used to just, stop in one project forever because if it's not going to be perfect, I'm still on it. All right. But then I learned that there's no such thing as a perfectionist. It's just another way to procrastinate, to stop doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a good lesson. You know, good enough, and then move on, move forward.
Everything is good enough. You are good enough. Everything is good enough. You just have to have the pleasure to do that thing that you wanted to do, and don't beat yourself if you can finish it. All right.
And then take calculated risks. So along the way, as you're taking action on your plan to achieve your dream, right, you're going to hit a spot where you're going to have to take a risk, right? And so you may have to think about it, but don't get stuck in analysis paralysis where you get frozen along your path because you can't make a decision what's best. There are going to be lots of good options or lots of bad options. And you just got to choose the one that you think is going to work out the best and go in that direction. And you can always backtrack and choose a different path.
Yeah.
Or you can keep forging forward. But either way, don't get stuck just sitting in that fork in the road trying to decide.
Yeah.
You know, do your research and then make a decision.
Yeah. In Cape Verde, you will say, "Can no arista, no pitisca." You know, if you don't take a risk, you don't eat. All right. Because you have to take a risk in life. You have to take a risk in life that you know that will benefit you in the future. All right. I'm not saying to take a risk on something that you know is actually is going to destroy your life. Take a risk in life in something that actually will bring you forward in life.
Obviously.
All right. But life has happened ups and downs. Not every risk you take will be successful.
And that leads to the next idea, which is embrace failure.
Yeah, embrace failure. Right?
You know, Einstein says, "I haven't failed." What does he say? I haven't failed. I've just found 100 ways that don't work yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So embrace failure. Keep your head up. Try and try. It's a natural part of the journey when you try something and you decide it's not working and you make an adjustment.
I know, right?
Right.
So good morning, Anne. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Los Angeles. Thank you, guys. Thank you for putting
Henrietta.
And Henrietta, yeah.
And I'm guessing Margaret's the one saying good morning. Patrick's there as well.
Yeah, thank you,
good
guys.
Morning, you guys.
That way we see who's saying that when they put a name on it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Being consistent. Consistency, right? There's so many benefits to consistency, but most of all, I think, is keeping your word to yourself, right? Making yourself a promise and keeping your word to yourself, and things get easier. The more consistent you are, the easier they are to just roll through.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, think about it. For example, if you promise your best friend you're going to go help them move, you will go, right? That's not, it will stop you. You will go. You promise your best friend you're going to help them, you're going to help. But, you make a promise to yourself and then you find an excuse to don't do it.
Yeah.
That's what we usually have a tendency to do, all right? We make a promise to ourselves we're going to do something, and then we try to find a way to just block exactly the promise we wanted to make to ourselves.
So, so make your plan be a commitment to yourself, make it be something reasonable, those bite-sized chunks, and then promise yourself that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And then hold yourself accountable by keeping track. checking in with yourself, having a star chart or
Yeah.
some other way that you keep track of your progress towards your goals. And if possible, find somebody who you can share that with.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
But remember, your goals are not their responsibility. My goals are not Tovi's responsibility.
Yeah.
He can help me and support me, but if he doesn't check in with me, that's not an excuse for me to not work toward my goals, right?
I know, right? Yeah.
So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who love you and check in about what are your goals and what are you working towards and how are you doing on those projects. I much prefer those kinds of conversations with my friends than talking about the weather and the doctor's appointments or whatever, the news.
Yeah.
So once you start taking action and you start being consistent, things start turning into a habit,
Yeah.
right? So you want to be really aware of what habits are supporting you and which habits are not supporting you. And we actually have a couple videos specifically about building habits, but just like taking action, you've got to focus on it. You got to make it a priority, because whatever you focus on, that's what you achieve. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so important. So important to do that. Like Mel said, we have a video all about that. But when I just a little summary, because habit it sounds so difficult to change it, but actually it's much simpler than we actually think about. Let's say, just for example, that every day at noon you get a one apple. Every day at noon, what you have is a one apple, but you want to change the habit. So now every day at noon, instead you could have an apple, you could have an orange. All right. And then every day, when you know the next day you're gonna go, your hand's gonna go to the apple, but remember, you don't want the apple anymore. You want the orange. You do that for a week, just a week. Your brain already was like, oh no, I want an orange. Your brain is not working anymore on the apple because your brain knows that for the past week you've been having orange. So that's orange that we want. The habit is breaking that way. You take one thing out, but you have to replace with something else. That's how it will be working.
Some work by Joe Dispenza, and the concept of training your brain like it is a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
You just be consistent and be clear and just know there's not negotiating with a puppy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you just got to be clear about what the boundaries are, and with your brain as well. Like, no, I do not eat in the middle of the night. It's something I don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Or when you wake up, I drink a cup of water. First thing when I wake up, it's just a habit that I've set, right? What are the habits that you set in your life? I clear out my email inbox, right? It's just a habit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? What are your goals? What are the things on your plan, right? So all of this action is supported by, how do you keep motivated? Right? It's easy. It's always easy at the beginning. You're like, oh, I'm excited. I have my goal. I have my dream. I have my plan. And I'm going to get started. I'm going to take actions. I'm going to take small actions. How do you stay consistent? How do you stay motivated? Well, first of all, staying consistent does not require motivation. There's self-discipline, where you just commit to yourself that even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to do it anyway. What can support that is keeping your why in mind, being really clear about why you're doing this, keeping the vision. In my mind, that's the power of vision boards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe necessarily in some magic. I believe it's mind over matter. So your vision board helps you stay focused on your why.
Mm-hmm.
And then that keeps you taking the actions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because your vision board, what it does, you kind of visualize the end of it. What's the reward you're gonna have at the end of it? So
and you commit.
And you commit. You have the commitment that you must. It's a must. Don't make a choice.
So part of Dream.Plan.Do, you have to go back through them basically each day.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and look at your plan. Go back and do. And if something's not working, figure out Is the dream not clear enough? Do I still believe in the dream? Is this still my dream? Because sometimes that changes.
Yeah.
We're talking about a vision board where you create a visual, like a bulletin board
Yeah.
of all the things you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Right? And so that keeps it's a visual reminder of what your goals are.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like the vision board of the house, your dream house, or your dream car, or your vision board about, for example, the company you want to work for one day, or vision board for the travels you want to go one
Yeah.
day, where you want to go one day. Because when you give yourself the vision board, all right, your subconscious mind don't even know what's real, what's fake. And when you focus on that reality, that's what you call manifestation, or that's what you call it for universe to give you what you actually really want in life.
And at the same time, it keeps you motivated. Taking actions to
Yeah.
achieve those things.
Yeah.
Why should I get up and go to the gym? Because I want to have a body like that. And setting, I know you guys talked about this last week with plans, but setting goals and milestones so that you can see your progress. I mean, think about little children. I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but as parents, we don't really watch our children grow. But then whenever we see someone that we haven't seen for 6 months or a year, and they see our child and they're like, wow, she's gotten so big.
I know, right?
You're like, yeah, I guess she has. Right?
Yeah.
You need these reminders of the growth and the progress. So look, while you're looking at your goals, look and see where could be some milestones, where can be some checkpoints so that you can see your progress.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, talking about it, I mean, our son went to Washington for a week. When he come back, I'm looking at him like he can't wait, or he just look like a more like a mature man than I guess his haircut as well. But he just sounds like more grown up than when he left a week before.
Yeah.
And so true. I think we grow, the kids grow it.
And it's kind of like when they ask fish, how's the water? And the fish like, well, what's water? They're not aware because they're so in it,
Yeah.
right? And so sometimes we can be actually making progress and not noticing it. So that's why milestones are good. It's also why it's good to surround yourself, like we say all the time, with people who can give you a little perspective and can help you see how far you've come.
Yeah.
And don't forget to take breaks. I know this is a big one for me. I can be so goal oriented that I'm like going until I get sick. That's the way in my history that I've taken breaks. And so I'm trying to learn to take breaks before I get sick and take care of myself and rest and recharge and start to notice that I'm tired rather than waiting to see that I'm sick. It's crazy. I know it's a little bit crazy, but take breaks so that you can, think about a marathon runner, right? I mean, not a marathon, like a cross country, right? If you're running across the country or something like that, right? You got to take a rest, wake up the next morning and go again.
Yeah.
So make sure you're getting good rest and taking good care of yourself. And learning from your setbacks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, actually, every step back you should learn from. Every mistake you done, you should be learning from. I mean, don't punish yourself because you made a mistake. I mean, just be happy that you made that mistake because now you learned to how to don't make that mistake. Because we are here to experience life, and while we experience life, we are making mistakes. Of course, that's the only way we're gonna learn many stuffs.
Yeah.
In life.
And to enjoy the ride, right? I know self-discipline is important, but to enjoy the ride. And someone says, and not repeating the mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Sometimes we repeat the same mistake over and over again. And yes, we're trying to learn the lesson so that once we learn that lesson, we can move on and stop learning that lesson and start learning a new lesson. And that's how we become more and more wise and more enlightened, right? Towards the end of our lives, because we've learned so many lessons, and that's okay. The quicker we can learn them, the better.
The better. Yeah.
Right? Because we know that if we don't learn them, we're doomed to repeat them.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that we avoid learning the lesson is by being in denial about the failure, not embracing it. If we just we waste our energy on beating ourselves up, right? And be, oh, I'm such an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of really reflecting on how did I do that? And then you can try to prevent it in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny because if our friends or family member make a mistake, you'll be like, oh, it's okay, you can. But then if you make that mistake, you don't say it's okay. You just like put it in yourself. Why?
But I actually think that the best friends don't just say it's okay. Because there's a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
There's a lesson to be learned in there. And so asking some questions of yourself or of the dearest friends that you're a mentor with, right, is, well, tell me more about how that happened. How did that happen? So you can kind of record that in your mind instead of just glossing past it. Because if you gloss past it, you're going to have to learn it again. And I know this is Margaret who said actually, because that's her favorite magic word. And we can't see you guys we're in StreamYard. And so it just tells us that a Facebook user is commenting. Yeah. But I know it's Margaret because actually is her favorite magic word. So when you say something like, oh, I'm so stupid, right? You say, actually, I made a choice. It didn't turn out the way I wanted. And now I've learned this lesson. Yeah. You can use actually to kind of undo your negative self-talk.
Yeah. And it's interesting that just a little change of words will completely change your lifestyle and your life in the whole, right? Just change some little words. I'm training to change, for example, when I say but, and they say but, I say and.
Why is that so important?
Because when you say but, it's kind of like you kind of criticize, say, you are beautiful, but, all right, so but what? All right, but you say you are beautiful and, all right, you're going to be like, oh, and what? All right. So little words will make a big difference in your life. So try to see which words
are
more empowering to use and practice that. Even if it's the words that you never used before, just practice that because it is there for a reason. People's been using it for hundreds and thousands of years. I've been learning a lot of new words. I've been using a lot of different words.
We should do a whole video on that.
And yeah, sure, we should do. And because it's important to know different words that actually would give you empowerment. Because there's a lot of words that only give you empowerment. Right.
The last thing I want to say is about forgiving yourself, not being too hard on yourself. And maybe we mentioned this a little bit before, not beating yourself up, but starting again, right? If you miss a workout, if you miss a goal, learn the lesson and then start over, start again. Don't throw out the whole dream and the whole plan. And I think that that's a really sad thing. And I think we've all met people who've thrown out the dream, thrown out the plan, and are just merely surviving. And I think that everybody who's here at Awesome Life 101 is, this is like insurance against that, right? This is insurance for thriving rather than just surviving.
Yeah, and somebody said words is superpower.
Yeah, so true. Words are super powerful and important.
So true. Words is magic.
But yeah, take on one thing at a time and give yourself grace and, work again. None of us have mastered all of life, right? But we just want to keep taking action in the direction that we want to go and not give up on ourselves.
Yeah. Because we have to find our own way, our own direction.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not here to follow everybody's directions. Everybody say, go there, go left. No, go right. No, go left. now go up, now go down. No, we're not supposed to be come to do that. We're supposed to find our own left, our own right, follow our own path.
But also, and also,
And also,
there are great mentors that we can learn from, great
yes,
examples, so
yeah,
we don't have to learn
so
every
many.
lesson the hard way.
No, because the reality is, I said that before, the wheels already being invented. We just need to use the wheels and to make our own paths on
Yeah.
the direction we wanted to go. Because we don't want to, this thing like a lot of people start their working, finish college early, start work early. Well, when they go to their 40s and up, they start questioning themselves.
Yep.
It's not just Mel and I that we started this in the 40s, but it's not just us. It's so many people out there in their 40s that started doubting themselves. Why I'm still doing this thing? They're doubting themselves. They want to be something else. But it's the reality. We have to start. We have to start changing ourselves, changing our direction, and make our direction our own path. Because if we don't do that, we start just going somebody else's path all the time. That's a regret. And regret, there's nothing worse than regret, that what you didn't do. You know, when you do something that didn't work out, you shouldn't have a regret for it. It didn't work out. You already learned for it. You learned, hey, that's not for me. It doesn't work out. All right. But you have some dream and you never put it to life to know if it works or not. At the end of the day, you will have a big regret. And that regret you're gonna take with you wherever you go. And that's what the reality. That's what Prince Lee said. The most richest place on earth is in the cemetery.
Prince EA.
But yeah, Prince EA. Because why? Because so many people die with their dream in their mind. All right. So many people die with their plan already planned, but they couldn't take action to it. Why? Because they couldn't let themselves go and take action and actually do what they're gonna do, because probably they were listening to some people that are saying that, oh no, that's not gonna work, or that's not gonna work. And they believe it. They believe it without working on it, without taking action and say, okay, I'm gonna figure out if it's gonna work or not. All right. But guys, we're here to envision our own life, and we want you guys to envision your own life. We believe that our life should be lived purposefully, all right? And we believe that all of us has a mission in this earth. We all come here to do something in life, and we need to find out what it is. Because if we don't find out what we are here for, we're going to have regret at the end of the day. All right. Awesome Life 101 is here to empower you to envision your own unique awesome life. We cannot create your dream, we cannot envision your dream, but we can help you envision and take a plans and actually take action to it.
Like
Right?
Lene said, we have our own inner voice.
Yeah.
So I know basically every week we talk about having a supportive group of people who encourage you and ask you how your plan is going and how your actions are going towards your dream. If you don't have a network of people who are supporting you like that, I really do encourage you to join the Awesome Life 101 VIP group, where every Saturday, right after this live event, we go into the VIP and we challenge each other and support each other towards our own dreams.
Yeah.
So that's where we're headed right now. If you want more information, send me a text message or a message on Facebook at Melanie Carvalho, and we'll send you the link.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.